Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2017, and it's week 34 of the competition. It's New Year's, mid-season, and I have some updates. First off, I currently have 3 players recruited for the incoming class, and it is by far the best class I've ever had. All 3 players in the top 70. I'm still absent 1 post player in recruiting, so that will be continuing on here in the season. And then an update on our transfer from last year, Ryan Driver. Still sucking it up. He was declared academically ineligible. Yet again, his GPA actually dropped despite having a tutor throughout the first year and being told to study more throughout the first half of the year. So repeatedly, again and again and again, and even though there's excellent relationships around, the kid's just not improving. I tried to let him go to free up that scholarship for next year. Can't do it. It would come with a major prestige hit. So there's no point letting him go. I'm going to be stuck with him around through next year. And he's likely never going to play for us. But in the meantime, we're going to try to keep him focused on his academics. He's already got to get tutored. That's going to last another week. We're going to tell him to study more. And maybe, just maybe, get him eligible to play next season. But I find it unlikely at this point. Daryl Dixon is actually down to a 2.3 GPA. We better get him to do some studying as well. Even though he's just a walk-on. Still don't want to lose the player. Alright, the other update. Things have not gone well for us. We are just 5-6 on the season. I haven't had a season like this really since the first season of the game. Maybe the second. We had a lot of tougher road games. We beat Delaware to start the season. We lost at Utah Valley State. We lost at Mississippi State by 30. We beat South Dakota. We lost at Eastern Washington in a close battle. We barely squeaked by Colorado State. We lost to Delaware State, rematch of last year, by a considerable margin, 24 points. And then we were able to knock off Alabama State and Portland State, but then lost the last 2. One at home to Houston, who is 12-1. RPI is 10 right now. And then Philadelphia Jesuit on the road, and we lost that one by 20. They are also pretty high up and have had a lot of ranked opponents, or have a lot on their schedule. As we enter our conference schedule, we have a difficult start on the road at Norfolk State, and then we have a difficult home game with Emmitsburg. We do have a chance to get a couple of wins there early on, but it's looking like a pretty difficult season ahead. It looks like my streak of promotions will finally be coming to an end with this season. Let's go ahead and sim through the week. Imagine we're going, oh, we got the win. Okay, so we knocked off Norfolk State. We got one win there that got us level at 500, but really the only record that matters is the conference record. So at 1-0, we're off to a good start. Emmitsburg is only 6-6 as well. Shockingly enough, the team that I've been side by side with through a series of promotions, we're both sitting on 6-6 records. We are playing at home. We will play them again later in the season when we do manage to get the win. So we actually start off strong at 2-0. Next up is Stockton, and another home game following that. We've got a decent chance to turn this season around here, surprisingly enough, after this incredibly tough start to the year. And it also appears that the last two undefeated teams in the nation, in Arizona and Yukon, have both gone down this week to their first losses. So there will be no undefeated team this year. Okay, a couple scatter reports coming up. And let's see where we're at on recruiting. So Ansley, Small, Forney have already signed. You can see they are 3 of the 4 top guys here. I am low on my budget. It's under 6,000 now, so I've got to be really careful. And Gunn is the next possible one, power forward, that we could sign. As we look at the call list, oh, he's already signed now with West DC, so let's get him off the list. Got Chris Smith, we're number 10 on his list. Graves, we are number 10 on his list. We are not on McDonald's list. 7 on McCamey. Not on Hobbs's list. Nicholson, we are number 7. Jones, we are number 7. And he is the one we currently have a scholarship offered to. 2.8 GPA should qualify. And his rank right now is just outside of 500. And even though it says overall he is a C, you can see he is very balanced. Lots of B's and A's. This is a quality player who might not be a star, but should provide some solid minutes to the team eventually. And in the absence of a decent post player available, like these 3 quality players that I've managed to pick up, he should be a decent role player for the team if I'm able to sign him, but we're only 7th on his list. Alright, here's Marcus Hart. We've gotten nowhere with this guy, so let's give him a call, and we break through. So Marquise Hart, got a fair amount of information on him there, and he doesn't seem to like anything so far. Okay, not on his list, not on his list. 10th on his list, 9 there, and we're back to the top of the list with Ansley. So you can see, of the remaining players, not really strong just about anywhere, really. So it's going to be interesting. Of the players that are here, Ansley is in A overall. I've never had a player ranked so high. I've only had a handful of B's that I've ended up being able to recruit, and those have gone on to be pretty solid players for me. So it's possible that Ansley will step in and have a pretty big impact. A good defender and a great offensive player, other than he might have the occasional turnover. But Ansley may not yet be coming to our school. He has just a 2.2 GPA and may not qualify. You know, I wonder if it's even possible. We're going to put in a call and Is there anything in bribes? No. There's not. I can't discuss academics with him. He qualifies or he doesn't. Alright, let's get back to the season. We have a couple home games this week that are both winnable and can give us a solid start to the conference season after completely botching the non-conference schedule. And there we are at 3-0 now. Tougher game upcoming with New York. They are 9-5, but we are at home. Bad news here. We have an injured player. Moment of truth. Who's going down? Oh, not two injured players. That's the suspension for driver. Daryl Dixon, sprained finger, 75% for just 1 week. Not worried about that. He is a backup. Surprised he even played in that last game. We must have been up by quite a bit. So that is a huge relief. Okay. Well, despite the horrible start to the season, our RPI has risen steadily since the start of the conference schedule. But a much tougher game up next. And we managed to go 4-0. The schedule will get tougher from here. We've only had one road game so far in the conference schedule, so you could say this was definitely our easiest stretch, or at least an easier stretch than we'll face. That's definitely turning the season around.
You have new mail.
Southern's 8-7, Cal Irvine's 9-6. So yes, they will definitely provide a tougher challenge for us upcoming. Santa Clara is next. They are 8-7. That's on the road. Coastal Carolina, 10-5, 3-1 in the conference. So even though that's at home, that's going to be a challenge. Cal Irvine's 500 in the conference, but they're right about where we are RPI wise. Southern, not so good, and at home. But that's 4 games that I'd say at least a few of those are going to be quite challenging. Troy, it's a road game, but a winnable road game. Arkansas, mixed bag, should win, but could be tight. Alcorn State, that should be a win. San Diego, not going to be easy. They're 3-1 in conference. Detroit's awful. That's a win. There's our only gimme. And Norfolk State after that. Emmitsburg is now 3-1 in conference, so their loss to us is the only loss they've taken. And then Stockton. Thank you, Nathaniel Lewis, for subscribing to the channel. I've picked up a lot of new subscribers here in the last few weeks. I'd like to thank all of you who are tuning in to this video and the channel. Alright, let's see, recruiting, still just evaluation period. Nothing much to see, money to save. So let's go ahead and spin through the week. Let's see if we can at least split these 2 road games to maintain our positive start to the conference schedule. We lose the first. This is the tougher one. Oh, and this one's at home though. It's the next 2 that are both on the road, I believe. But this one's not going to be easy at all. Coastal Carolina's 11-5. A couple games better than us. Our RPI had climbed to 59th, but that will be dropping now after that road loss. we lose them both. And we've got an even tougher couple of games coming next. With 4 conference wins already to our name, can at least hope that we will stay out of the relegation zone, which is the bottom 4 teams in the conference. But I have a pretty strong feeling that we are not going to be in the top
You have new mail.
Or winning a conference tourney. Okay, recruiting still just evaluation. Let's see how Jones 6th. Oh, they've changed rankings again. Ansley's 39th, Small 48th, Forney is 70th. Graves, we're number 10 on his list. McCamey, we are 7th. And I still need to look at the possibility that I will lose Ansley, which means Hobbs or Nicholson would be our backup. Probably Hobbs. Definitely Hobbs. Very similar players, but Hobbs is certainly the better of the two. Alright, let's sim this week. After losing both games last week, we could certainly use at least a split this week. And we do get the split. We get the first win. So Cal Irvine goes down. That feels like a little bit of an upset. Oh, and this is a home game. So we still have more road games to play than home games the rest of this season. We've been splitting our time home and away here recently. This is a winnable game to get us up to 6-2. And yes, we do get it. And we have another injured player. Hopefully, I don't know if we could be as fortunate as we were in the last one. Actually, we can. No, it's Maxie Davis, strained hamstring, 8 days. That hurts. It's our senior point guard. Though he is our number 7 guy, so it hurts more than it hurt losing Dixon, who is very much a backup on limited minutes. Alright, glancing at that schedule again as things are getting tight. See, we have 5 road games and 3 home games left. Those home games are quite winnable, and we might be able to grab a couple of those road games. So if we can manage to go, say, 5-3, an 11-5 record would be pretty solid in the conference. That would already put us pretty much guaranteed to be in the top half, contending top 4. Emmitsburg, their only loss was to us. They are 7-1. They've knocked off 6 wins in a row? I think that was their second conference game. So they dropped to 1-1 when we beat them. But at 6-2, we are right there in it. But like I said, I think we have a tough final stretch. It's going to be a tall order to remain amongst the top 3 guaranteed promotion slots. And I think we might be out of reach for conference title this year. Just not feeling it. I mean, we're 11-8. All right, Troy on the road here. and they have identical 11-8 records to us. And as the road team, you got to say that they're probably going to have the edge. Is it winnable? Well, certainly, but they'll probably be favored over us. And it'll be into next week that we play that one.
You have new mail. You have new mail.
Uh-oh. There's the big news. Sadly expected. Our first A recruit is now an F recruit. He failed to make standards, and his scholarship is revoked. I saw it coming. Figured it was coming. I wonder if that's his brother. No, it's from Florida. He wouldn't be. Okay, well, that certainly hurt. I have a point guard and a small forward left, so I'm looking at probably a shooting guard or another small forward. Let's see, how bad was it? I'm also going to need to check everyone else's scores to see who else did not qualify. A couple guys out. The rest just make it. Jones just made it. Nicholson just made it. Smith just made it. Forney, fantastic. 1,500 on the SAT. He's got a 4.0 GPA. So Ansley missed out by 40 points with a positive 2.0 and above and a 920 SAT. He'll land somewhere. I doubt he's going to have to go the JC route. You know what? I'll leave him up there just to see where he ends up. Alright, so we need to explore our options as I now have 2 vacancies to fill instead of just one. I think I still had one player to call in. So Bobby McDonald's out. Nicholson just makes it. Jones just makes it. Marquise Hart, we're up to number 3 on his list, even though we only just got through to him. He must be a really stubborn kid, I would guess. It's taken us forever to get through to him, and it probably took probably worse for everyone else. He cares about location, so that could benefit us. We might be able to sign him, but it's still a decision to be made whether that's something we even want. But as a good scorer and a good defender and a good shot blocker, we might go for Marquise Hart here at that post position. And he's what, a center? Could end up signing that instead of a shooting guard. Okay, you did not qualify, so you're out. 920. And Fingleton is out. Alright, our list just got a bit shorter. Okay, let's go ahead and watch some film on pretty much everyone that's left. Maybe get an update on those attributes. And then we'll look into Marquise Hart, kind of where he is. See, it's only a single plus Yeah, we're third on his list, so I come down to 11 potential recruits. 2 of them already signed, so 9 guys that I'm left going after with 2 slots to fill. Alright, let's get back to our schedule, and we'll see those updates before I make a decision on who else to offer a scholarship to. We dropped 6-3, so that one did result in a loss. That was a challenging road game, identical records on the road. Road being that key factor in that one. They had the home court advantage, and they took advantage, got the win. Next up is Arkansas State. They are 12-8, but we are at home. So same thing's got to be said of the last game. Now that home court advantage should, theoretically, should be enough to see us through. No guarantees, though. We lose some of those road games, and we occasionally lose some of those home games. Got the win there. Okay, so both games that week, the teams held court, held serve. Home teams won. Next up is Alcorn State. It is a road game, but they are struggling mightily at 7-14. And I think last I saw their conference record was even worse percentage-wise. So that is absolutely a winnable game. And Detroit as well. All right. Let's see what we ended up with here. Oh man, Hearts dropped to a 2.0. And GPA is 870. How did I not notice that before? Did you see that? Let me know in the comments if I just totally missed that, or if this is updated. I suppose I could always go back and look on the video if I cared enough. I don't. He's out. Moving on. Okay, everybody here does qualify, other than Ansley. I'm just keeping around to see who and if he signs up with someone else. Everybody's got the necessary GPA, yes. Right, well, I've got some limited choices here. We're looking from Smith down to Kraft, so I have just 8 players with 2 choices to make. One currently is made in Jones. He's the weakest scorer of the bunch. And defense-wise, his ratings have dropped from where he was. I think I need to remove Jones and go after someone else, because these updated rankings, he's looking quite weak now. Quite weak. I think he had been a B on defense earlier. I think he was a B on scoring as well. So the more I've seen him, the worse he's gotten. Still only number 6 on his list. I'm going to revoke that scholarship. We'll see where he ends up, but we're probably not going to be in his top 10 anymore. So now I really am back to 2 choices. So how about I do position by position analysis? It's going to be a little easier to examine. We've got Forney already, and he's ranked number 70. Smith here is a pretty good option. And since we didn't lose Forney, and he signed a letter of intent, should probably be letting Hooper go, who's way lower on rank and not high on us anyway. Even though he's got some decent attributes, doesn't he? And Smith's decent. I'll keep him around, but I don't think I'm going to offer him. So those guys are going to be backups. Why don't we go to small forward? Because of that same situation of I've already got small. There's Ansley. He's out. Let me see if he's signed on with anyone. No. Probably going to be a little while before that happens. So Small's in. He's ranked number 48. Great scorer, good defender, inside and outside on the scoring, good passing as well. He's going to be solid. Here's Hobbs. These guys are C's. This guy, not good. He's going to turn the ball over a lot. He's not going to grab rebounds or blocks. He's not very good on defense. So Nicholson, Jim Nicholson. Let's go ahead and get him out of there so I'm dealing with a smaller subset. Kraft, a lot of B's, just not a rebounder. But as a small forward, yeah, it's not the end of the day if he can't rebound. But as a good defender, he deserves to at least be available to us. Hobbs, meanwhile, nothing jumping out that says, hey, you need two small forwards. You need to get this guy. Small, on the other hand, was that. He jumped out. I went for Ansley and Small. And that pretty much worked out. So now we're down to shooting guard. There are none left on my list, which means I'm probably looking at a power forward and a center. And there's only 3 choices, and I just wiped out Jones. So hopefully Graves and McCamey are who I'm looking for. Let's see. They both can score. They both can pass, though they don't handle, especially McCamey. But that's not that uncommon for a center. Oof. Ouch, ouch. McCamey's not looking so good. They're both a B. How is McCamey a B? With straight D's on defense. What makes him a B? Nothing. Now Graves, on the other hand, he's okay. We're number 10 on his list. Lawndale, California. He cares a lot about playing time. And it's some things that we don't necessarily... Well, I need a post player, so he's getting an offer. I might need to go back to the drawing board and look again, maybe outside of my region. Back to our fallbacks. So Ansley, Small, Forney. We're looking at these 4. All scorers. Smith, great ball handling. He'd be a really good point guard. And a good defender. He's ranked number 141. Just qualifies though, but GPA is okay. Meaning he works hard, though he's not that smart. Guess Smith for now. We're number 9. He cares about location. and he is local. And academics. This is my kind of recruit. So I guess we're going to go after Smith. Without a shooting guard, they can split time at point guard and shooting guard. We'll scout him live. Back to season. I know I haven't gotten into any specific game sims. Those don't generally have a direct impact. And it looks like I will at least be in a high enough position. We got that win. Another road game, tougher this time, San Diego. They are 12-10. Maybe a little more winnable than our previous ones, but still, let's say 55%, 60% chance that we lose this one. And we do. That next game is probably the easiest game of the season with Detroit. Though at 7-16, they're not quite as bad as I thought, but I think in the conference they are just getting hammered.
You have new mail.
Stockton, quite winnable. Alabama A&M. Conference K. That is a non-conference game coming up. And Emmitsburg. It's going to be a toughie. Alright. So, 5 games left. And one of them's a bracket breaker Sunday game. So for the second year in a row, we're gonna have one of those. I don't even see how we're even in the bracket breaker tournament, because the only way we're getting in to the NCAA this year is if we win the conference tournament. But Detroit, 4-8 conference, 5-7 for Norfolk State. Those should both be wins. But Emmitsburg, they've only lost 2 games in the conference now, 1 to us, but we're going on the road this time. Stockton, however, is just 3-9, so we could win 3 out of 4 left in the conference. Let me revise that. Should. So 11-5, which is actually what I was predicting earlier. 11-5. I think we're right on track for that. And that Alabama game. They're what, Conference K? 9-3 in conference. They've got to be favored over us, but it is at home, so we might be able to grab a win there. But it's not going to have any impact. So potentially 11-5, 8-4 right now. We're just outside looking in. There's the top 3 automatic qualifiers. We're a game behind. But if we can go 3-1 down the stretch, Emmitsburg, that keeps them on top. Troy, they've got a couple game cushion. They'd have to lose 3 out of 4 just to be level with us, so I don't think that's happening. So it's really down to Northern Iowa. That's the one who's going to have to take a couple losses. And we do not play them here in these final few games. Have we even played them this season? Nope. We have not, so I'm not even sure what their schedule is quite like. Let me check recruiting before we jump in. Just evaluation. But Smith, number 9 on his list. We weren't on the list, or we were 10th. Graves, number 10. So no massive jump. We didn't suddenly become top 5 on either of their lists. Jones hates us now. Alright, let's get to it. These 2 games this week very much need to be wins, should be wins, can be wins. Can we get it done? There's the first game. We do win that one. Next up, Norfolk State. This was one of our only road wins this year in conference, and just period. We've got them at home this time. They're not a bad team. It was a bit of a surprise win last time. Got it. Okay. So at 15 and 10, 10 and 4 in conference, we're doing what we need to do. We've got to at least split the last 2 games. I don't think we can beat Emmitsburg. And maybe we'll tune into that game. I guess that depends partly on the standings, because I am nearly out of time for this episode if we are going to get into a conference tournament, which will clearly qualify for one. Okay, the update. We are now into the top 3. Northern Iowa split their games, so they dropped Emmitsburg, and Troy also dropping games this last week. Now, if we were to beat Emmitsburg, we would have beat them twice, and we'd have identical records. I wouldn't see how we wouldn't be ahead of them in the conference standings. So if we are to win that game, and win both down the stretch, we'll still end up with an automatic promotion bid. So yes, we'll watch the Emmitsburg game. Quick check on recruiting, still just evaluation. So let's get to it. We're gonna sim this game. 15 and 11. So even though we were at home, that much higher conference. Oh, and this is the next day? That hurts. So we've got to go on the road at Emmitsburg the very next day. Players have got to come in a bit fatigued after that. Doesn't hurt our record here. This record really doesn't matter. We just need to get that automatic, or hope to get that automatic so we can keep moving up. Especially with some better players coming in next year, I think the team will improve. I've had a bad couple of years of recruiting. Part of that was where I went through a phase where I had a couple bad coaches, partially because I let guys go, and then we had that tight budget, and it hurt. All right, here we go. So this is kind of really our season here. That postseason tournament, I don't think we're going to be in a position to win it. I think we need to crack the top 3. And the only way we're going to get there is if we beat the Climbers. Small lead early on. We're up 16-14 at the moment. Game's tied now. We definitely went cold there for a while. Use a 30 to try to end that streak. And we just went down 10. Down 7 with 4 minutes to play in the first half. Not looking too good. We are starting to build a little bit of a momentum here as we approach halftime. Down just 3 points. Trading buckets though. And we go into halftime down 2. Gaines has 9 points. Hansen has 8 with 4 boards. Erskine just 1 of 7 shooting. Let's see here. Maxie Davis, 4 assists, but has not made a shot yet. We do have the lead, though. Slow it down to 9 here as we get later into the game. 8 minutes left to play. We are up 67-63 at the moment. Floyd now in double digits as well on 3 of 4 shooting. He's doing well. We're getting a lot of bench support in this game. Look at the stats. We are +5 on rebounds. We are level on turnovers. We are shooting 48% from the field while they are 43%. Free throws, both teams doing okay from the line. Quite a few attempts. Only 14 attempts from beyond the arc, but we've made as many as them, even though they have 22 attempts. And fouls here in the second half. We are already in the double bonus, while they are in the 1-and-1s stage. Ouch. They get a couple back-to-back buckets real quick there, and actually take the lead out of that. Go down 2 with a minute and a half to play from the charity stripe, but Hansen ties the game. Shot is blocked by Tahid. We grab the rebound. Ash misses, and Reese goes to the other end. And timeout, timeout, timeout. Oh, it didn't let me take a timeout. And we go down. So that couple quick buckets really was the difference down the end, as we had a 4-point lead that suddenly turned into a 1-point deficit that quickly turned into a 4-point deficit in just a few possessions. They had 2 immediate back-to-back, which I think was 5 points. So they had a 3, a steal, and a layup for 5 quick points, and then they scored again on the next possession. And that was the difference maker. We almost pull off the upset, but go down 85-81. And that was our best chance on the year. That will drop us to 5th place. Northern Iowa got the win in their game. San Diego got the win in their game. So Northern Iowa has to lose this next game. And then we're going to have to win, which Stockton is down here at the bottom, so no problem there. And then I have no idea about what was the other one we were level with? San Diego. Despite my challenges, I've still got an RPI of 68. So we've certainly moved up. This has definitely been a difficult season. All I can really hope for here is that Northern Iowa's got an incredibly tough road game with us at Stockton that is absolutely winnable. Where are they? There you go. Northern Iowa at 18-9, South Philly. And San Diego is at Detroit. So we are all on the road. Emmitsburg could lose at Norfolk State, theoretically. And Troy could lose at Arkansas State. So all of the top 5 teams are on the road. We don't have time to watch that game, though. Better be a win. It's not. We lose. We drop 10-6. That's not going to be enough, obviously. We finish 4th. Only the top 3 have the automatic bids because you've got to win the conference tournament for that 4th promotion spot, unless one of the top 3 win the tournament. That's actually quite possible. So Emmetsburg, Troy, Northern Iowa, or us need to win the conference tournament. Recruit, still just evaluation. Let's get to it. I am out of time for this episode, but I want to see what happens. I will not be making the NCAA tournament at 15 and 13, or probably any tournament this year. So this is the year where I actually need the big boys to do well in this tournament because that is our best chance of getting the last promotion slot for this year. We've reached the end of February. Long save. Alright, here we are. First day of the tournament. Bottom tier teams playing up first. We'll have our first game here on the next day. I don't have to win it.
You have new mail.
But one of the top 3 teams do. Got New York. We did beat them previously, but they are 19 and 10. And we lose, so we are out. And other than our loss to New York, the big boys, all 3, are still in. So the 5 seed, New York, is the only one who has gotten through thus far. So if Emmetsburg beats New York in this game, I should still have promotion for this season. They do not. Emmetsburg is knocked off. So New York in with a shout to steal the promotion spot from me if they could beat Coastal Carolina.
You have new mail.
I'm not even sure how to check. There it is. New York got the win. So New York earns the automatic promotion by winning the Conference O tournament, knocking me off on their way to that title, and also knocking me out of contention for promotion this year. So the streak is over. I will be staying in Conference O for next year. Hopefully. Taking a quick look at the roster as we wrap up the season. Erskine is on his way out. He will be, and Davis on their way out. They'll be a little bit difficult to replace, but Gaines is solid. So he should be a good, strong starter for next year. And Delia was a good player also. So he should be able to step up into that position. I think we'll be in decent enough shape in the backcourt. Small forward has been a really weak position for me for a while. There's a great chance that Jamal Small will be able to immediately step in as the starter there. But we'll see what we get in Taflinger, who redshirted. And Ryan Driver's not coming anytime soon. That GPA hasn't changed a bit. Hansen's gone, but he was one of the ones who struggled this year. He just was not up to the position. Rick Tahid was almost level with him, I think just about level on points. So if he does improve Tahid should be pretty good for next year, and Floyd did an okay job as a true freshman, and should definitely improve. So we should be better at this position next year. And we had nothing but freshmen at center, so we will definitely be better. So we're going to be better in the post for sure. I think we might end up being better at small forward, and the backcourt should be roughly the same. But I think overall on the balance, I don't think I'm going to be worse at any position, depending on how Small is coming in. Ash really is not that great of a player. Look at what it is we're having to replace. That's it. Erskine, best player at a 3.0 this year. So definitely struggles. There should be some solid improvement going into next season, though. I've been having a lot of starters in that 3.5 star range, 3 to 3.5 star range for quite a while, not just a single player on the team. And Driver, the only 2.5 star guy, didn't play a single possession in the 2 years since transferring to our school. Alright, well, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.